There's a moment in every transformation where the self starts to dissolve, where logic breaks down and language loses meaning. The song Grow Crazy lives there. It's not just about letting go, it's about embracing the collapse.
Psychologically, we might call it ego death, a collapse of the self-image so something more authentic can emerge. It's chaotic, it's disorienting, but it's also a recurring theme in William's work. We saw it back in episode 1, and it's back here louder, messier, maybe even more honest.
And look, Seal already said it. We're never going to survive unless we get a little crazy. But this song, this isn't radio friendly. I mean, there's F-bombs all over the chorus. This is the fire tunnel.
Or maybe it's what happens when you've tried everything and nothing makes sense, so you throw your hands up and say, screw it, let's get weird. Either way, it rocks.
You're listening to the podcast where music, myth, and meaning collide. This is Shifting Awake. I'm Professor Orion Kale, Senior Fellow of Comparative Mythology at Eldamore University, here to trace the sacred threads woven through the chaos.
I'm Dr. Evelyn Hartman, clinical psychologist and believer in the power of breakdowns, breakthroughs, and everything in between.
I'm Vincent Vex Langley, pattern hunter, truth excavator, and unapologetic messenger of all things strange.
And I'm Steph Parker, music journalist for The Bay Beat at Southside Bay Community College. I listen so you don't have to. Though with this one, you probably should.
Tonight we're listening to the song Grow Crazy by William Is, a track that smashes across the fault line between collapse and transformation. It doesn't ask for permission to break form, it just does. And in the process, it opens something strangely beautiful.
Let's start with that opening line. Love so sick and sweet. Go cry your eyes out. Go cry your eyes out. It's instantly emotional, but there's something acidic in it. It sets the tone for the whole song, beauty and distortion tangled together. And I hear an undercurrent of grief, even if it's clearly dressed in sarcasm.
Yes, there's pain in it, but also catharsis. That invitation, go cry your eyes out, almost feels like a blessing. Like, go ahead, feel it all. Don't hold back. In ancient rites, that kind of full release was essential. You don't just transform by thinking. You break, you grieve, you burn it out of you.
And then you get the lyric, love just like a cool chain on a hot day. That line is so specific and kind of dangerous. Like, yeah, it sounds refreshing, but there's also this sense of restraint, maybe even bondage. Cool metal on burning skin. It's sensual, but it also leaves a mark. To me, that's what the song's doing, seducing you while it slices you open. You like it, even if you don't know why.
Totally. It's the musical equivalent of letting your breakup playlist slap you around a little. Pain and pleasure are completely blurred here, but it's honest. You don't get clean feelings in this song. Everything's tangled.
Like a cool chain on a hot day. Really struck me too. Because love does bring comfort, cool relief when things are overwhelming, but there's also the chain. There's weight. Real intimacy requires some level of compromise, maybe even submission. Not in a negative sense, but in the sense of letting go of total control. That image holds both pleasure and pressure. It's a perfect metaphor for how love soothes us while still asking us to bend.
Okay, I have to jump in on this next one. William goes on to sing, Matter turns the blinds down on a Japanese town. And then he says, get a map to a green and new land from a Manhattan newsstand. Come on, that's atomic imagery. That's E equals MC squared. You've got mass turning into pure energy. Matter turns, the Japanese town, Hiroshima, the Manhattan newsstand. He's talking about the Manhattan Project. This is nuclear poetry, man. Like casually picking up a newspaper and finding the blueprint for transcending reality. And it's in the song, hidden in plain sight.
You're not wrong, Vex, but let me offer another reading. Faith and dissolve. Get a map to a green and new land. That isn't just referencing destruction. It's pointing to what's possible when we dissolve the boundaries of matter itself. Yes, E equals MC squared unlocked the bomb, but it also revealed that matter is simply light in slow motion. What if, instead of splitting the atom to destroy, we learn to dissolve the self into light? Imagine perceiving at twice the speed of light. Your form would vanish. You wouldn't burn. You transcend. That green and new land might actually be geographic, not just simply a higher frequency.
You guys sound like you just dropped acid and watched Oppenheimer.
Yeah, well, sometimes the world has to split open to let the light through.
You know what's interesting though? The cover art for this single actually has a line on it. The greatest tool is the most powerful weapon. And I think that's the real tension William's holding here. Mass becomes energy, that's E equals MC squared, a formula that changed the world. It can level a city, or bring light to an otherwise dark metropolis. It just depends on the hands it's in. And in this case, I think William's using it as a metaphor for the self, for transformation. The same force that can destroy can also create. That's not chaos. That's potential.
You're right, Evelyn. It's not about glorifying the chaos. It's about what it reveals. Then there's a lyric that might catch you off guard. Your gruesome death is just a formality. It sounds brutal, something bloody, maybe even tragic, but only if you take it literally. What William's pointing to here is symbolic death, the ego unraveling, the old self dissolving. And yeah, from the inside, it can feel gruesome, but in the grand arc of transformation, it's just a step, a rite of passage. The language is intense because the process is intense, but the message underneath is quietly liberating. The hardest part of letting go might already be behind you.
Or, hear me out. What if it's not just metaphor? What if this life is the formality, like we already died? The crash happened. We're just running the after image on loop until we wake up.
Okay, Vex, that's enough microdosing for today. But honestly, this song does feel like it's tearing through the veil, or at least through a wall of amps. It's loud, it's raw, it doesn't wait for you to catch up. And here's the part that really gets me. William played everything on this track. Guitar, bass, synths. That's even him wailing on the drums. So yeah, maybe it's about ego death, but the dude's flexing while he dissolves.
All right, suppression files open. Let's talk about how we're taught to fear our own unraveling. You feel grief? Medicate it. You feel rage? Stuff it. You want to scream into the sky? Go journal about it quietly in the corner. This song doesn't do that. It invites the chaos in. It says, grow crazy, not stay composed, not stay likable, grow wildly. Because here's the thing, emotional disintegration isn't dysfunction, it's initiation. But if people knew that, if people understood their breakdowns were the start of becoming something new, yeah, you'd be dangerous. You wouldn't need a therapist, a guru, or a pill. You'd know what you are. That's why songs like this don't chart. It's not polished enough to sell. It doesn't feed the illusion. It shatters it.
Vex, you're not wrong about the power of emotional breakdowns, but I want to add something very important here. Therapists and medication aren't necessarily suppressors. They can be training wheels. Support while you're learning to ride through the storm. Not everyone can dive headfirst into ego death and come out whole. Sometimes we need help staying safe while everything's shifting inside. The key is knowing the difference between numbing and navigating. And this song? It's all navigation. Turbulent, sure, but deeply alive.
You're both speaking to different parts of the same rite. The ancient initiates were guided and tested. They weren't thrown into darkness without a torch, but they still had to walk through it. In that sense, therapy and medicine can be part of the ritual. Tools for steadiness, not escape. But the descent, the chaos, that's real. That's sacred. And Grow Crazy doesn't just describe it, it participates in it.
Okay, I get it. Training wheels are important. Make mine a double in a rocks glass with a twist, thank you very much. Because if this is what growth feels like, I'd prefer to evolve gently, with fine spirits and background music.
Honestly, Steph, I think that is part of the beauty here. This track doesn't ease you in. It throws you into the middle of the storm sonically, emotionally, all of it. And that's what makes the production so powerful. It's not just supporting the lyrics, it's enacting them. You feel the disorientation. You hear the unraveling.
Yes, and there's intention in that storm. Even the chaos feels composed, like every sonic choice is part of the ritual. The distortion, the layering, the way it never quite resolves. It mirrors the spiritual process itself, uncomfortable, non-linear, but utterly alive.
Exactly. This isn't some over-polished mass market epiphany. This is outlaw transformation. It's gritty, it's loud, it breaks you open. And that's why it'll never get pushed by the algorithm, because it doesn't pacify, it activates. And they don't want you activated.
All right, can we talk about how the song opens? The pitch-shifted drums, those warped guitars, it sounds like someone booted up a rock band in another galaxy. It sets the tone immediately. This is not going to feel normal. You're already half melted by the time the first lyric hits. It's glitchy, it's bent, it's barely human. And that's before the vocals even start.
Disorienting? Sure, but what if it's not just chaos? What if it's calibrating you? Like the song is tuning your nervous system, bending your perception so you're not hearing it with your normal filters. That warped intro, it's not broken. It's a re-entry protocol. You're being prepared for the payload.
I actually think there's something to that, Vex. From a psychological standpoint, unexpected sounds do bypass our usual defenses. They pull us out of default mode, out of autopilot. In a way, that intro is a kind of calibration. It makes you listen with your whole body. Not just your ears, but your gut, your skin. It gets you into a state where you're ready to receive something different.
Yes, Evelyn, exactly. And it reminds me of the bull roarer, an ancient ritual instrument used in initiation rites around the world. It creates this low, droning, spinning sound that disorients the senses and marks the boundary between the ordinary and the sacred. That distorted intro, it functions the same way. It tells you you're not in the normal world anymore. Something is shifting. It's not just a song starting. It's a threshold being crossed.
What gets me is how the song pretends to be straight ahead rock at first. Like, you think you've got the vibe. Cool, crunchy, mid-tempo, and then the chorus hits and it just goes full punk. Suddenly it's fast, raw, almost reckless. Like the song's pulling its mask off and yelling in your face.
And just when you think the chaos is done, that alien code from the beginning, it comes back at the end. Same warped pitch, bent loop. Like it's trying to tell you something you almost forgot. And then, this sound like someone putting their hand on a spinning record. Slowing it down manually, it doesn't fade out. It devolves. Like time collapsing in on itself. It's not an ending. It's an artifact, a message you were never supposed to hear twice.
Yeah, well, I've already played it on Spotify 3 times today, so if it's a secret transmission, I'm fully compromised.
You've heard the descent. You've heard the unraveling. Let the sound carry you wherever it needs to take you.
Let yourself soften. Let yourself shake. This track doesn't ask for perfection, it just asks you to stay.
If you feel like something's shifting in your gut right now, good. That's not discomfort, that's calibration.
All right, here we go. This is Grow Crazy by William Is.
We're sorry. This content is not available in your region.